Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Lovely. And today we are going to talk about the General's Handbook Pitched Battles Season 1. Maybe it'll be a Season 2. But we're going to talk about the battle pack that brings us into Gallat with the Gallatian Veterans and all that sort of stuff. Now, there's been a lot written about this from sort of or spoken, videoed about this. From the tournament perspective and, what's good for, winning and how you min-max things and stuff like that. And all that's good. All that's great.
But we are the casual men.
Are the casual men. So we thought we'd discuss it from the casual perspective of, you're just going to play in your garage. You're just going to play in your basement. You're just going to have some friends over and get some good Warhammer in.
And you're going to fight with your toys.
And you're going to play with your toys, exactly.
Your very expensive toys.
Very expensive toys. But, if that's all you're doing, do you really need this battle pack? Is it any good? Or is it really sort of for the tournament player and that's that? Well, what do you think overall?
I think it's good, but there are some ways you can use it. Like you could treat it as an expansion pack, sort of.
Sure. So I guess my question is, if someone were playing Warhammer and they've been playing for a while, so they're good with the rules, and they said, "Hey, should we play some of the General's Handbook stuff, or is that too complicated, or is it not fun, casual?" What would you say?
I would say we can play it, but some of the battle tactics won't be as well. They won't be like their words. Like they're
You don't like their descriptions.
Yeah, like the way they're worded, like
so
against the odds.
We'll get there. I think the overall answer from my perspective is yes. I think this battle pack is pretty fun. I think it adds a lot to the casual game, and I think that overall I like it more than the previous General's Handbook.
This is also bought with your own dollars.
Yes, that's true. So this came bought with my own greenbacks, and so this isn't sponsored in any way. And sometimes
no sponsors.
When stuff comes out, it gets a lot of press from people who got review copies and things, but really what they're telling you is what's in the book, and then maybe they've had a game with it, maybe. And so I wanted to wait until we'd had quite a few games with the General's Handbook, including ones that haven't been recorded, and give you our honest thoughts after having played it for a while. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, there's three things to talk about. Tactics and grand strategies.
Yeah.
Veterans, and bounty hunters and expert conquerors. Which one of those do you want to do first? Not
battle tactics.
Battle tactics. Okay. So unlike the previous General's Handbook, or I guess like the previous General's Handbook, this comes with a whole host of battle tactics and grand strategies. And they're completely different. They're all, almost completely different.
Yes. Some of them are similar, like this one's mine. It just says kill a unit, but that unit could still be the general.
Yeah, or barge through enemy lines where you have 2 units in is just like whatever the one that we put 2 units in.
We have the Thondio ones still. We can still get them and look at them.
Yeah, for sure.
We kept the Thondio ones. Those ones were still fun.
So that's all good, and the grand strategies are all different as well. So the thing that makes it a little bit different, and the thing I like about it, is that in the previous General's Handbook,
Thondio.
The Thondia book, man, you could almost always get a battle tactic.
Yeah, I think I like that though.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that you could get points.
I sort of like this one because it's still, I thought it would be way more rare that we'd get battle tactics. I thought we'd see games where maybe only 2 or 3 were achieved, but we still see games where until about round 5, we're consistently achieving battle tactics. Mm-hmm. But I like that they're harder. I like that they're not super hard. Like I said, we still get 4 out of 5 pretty regular. But I like that it requires you to do something mostly that you weren't already doing.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the other ones were like, kill a thing or take an objective. And while some of that's still in here, some of these ones are a little bit more difficult, like gaining momentum, where you have to get 2 objectives, or not 2, but more objectives, and kill something.
That one I feel like is a little silly. That's one of the ones I feel like is a little silly.
It's named silly?
Yeah. Because that sounds like something you would do early game. And then it's like round 3, you're doing that.
Yeah, usually that comes out, well, I guess, if the battle's been back and forth, and then by round 3, you finally gain momentum, and then, you could see it. You could see it. But, I agree. The one that I think is the silliest name, you brought it up earlier, is Against the Odds.
Yeah.
Against the Odds.
Sounds like.
Is so. So Against the Odds is sort of like the Ferocious Advance from the other one, where it's just, you just do it. Run 3 guys. Okay. And Against the Odds is contest an objective where there's no enemy veterans.
Yeah.
And that's
sucks.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. That's a good turn 1 battle tactic.
Because that one sounds like you're gonna rush in with like 5 guys against a unit of 10 guys, and you're gonna try and take it. But no, it's like move your guy in. Okay, I did it. I did it.
A lot of times the odds are very much in your favor.
Yes.
That's true. But I do like
the way it's against the odds. It's against the odds that you will lose this battle tactic. Right. That's why it's called Against the Odds.
So the one thing I do like about it is most of the other battle tactics are not ones that you can complete easily on the first round. Yeah. So Against the Odds is there as sort of like, all right, we need one that they can do first round.
But that one is not worded correctly.
No. And then the grand strategies.
It should be named Moved Your Guys 8 inches.
I think all the grand strategies are improvements. All the grand strategies make you want to conquer territory or take over things or push in or keep people out. Whereas the grand strategies from the last battle pack were mostly
keep people alive.
Yeah, keep a wizard alive. Keep a battle line alive.
I also
keep a
failed
priest alive.
Keep a wizard alive as Zinch because you tabled me.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty funny too, because I think in that army every unit is a wizard.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you have to table Zinch to stop that tactic.
Yeah. So I think that the grand strategies are great improvements because
I agree.
They give you something to strive for. And I think that even if some of them are named sort of silly, I think the battle tactics are all improved. None of them are impossible. None of them are, ridiculous or too hard or throwaways.
Grand strategies that are impossible.
Not impossible, but harder.
One of them for Night Hunt is like.
Oh, no, we're talking about these ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some for special armies.
Yeah. Special armies are a whole different thing.
Well, why are they called special armies? Not special armies.
But I think that the battle tactics are overall pretty good, and it forces you to. I think in the Thondia pack, a lot of times it'd be like, "It's my turn. Oh, which one am I going to do?" And okay, I can do that one. Whereas this one, a lot of times, if I wait until my turn to think about battle tactics, I'm going to struggle to complete it. Lots of times, as I'm moving, I'm thinking, what battle tactic might I do next turn? What battle tactic could possibly happen here? And that's sort of fun. It adds that layer of strategy that I think was missing from the last General's Handbook. All right, let's talk about Galley Vets.
I think I like them because now Battle Line has a reason more than just, fine, I'll put them in instead of my core guy.
I agree. So we'll get to Bounty Hunters and Extra Conquerors in a second. But as far as the whole Galatians Veterans thing, love it.
Yes, I agree.
Love it. It appears in, I think, one battle tactic to give you bonus points. I think if you barge through with 2 vets.
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head, I don't think gives you a bonus point.
Oh,
but yes, there is a battle tactic that requires you to kill enemy veterans with your veterans.
Still questioning on if, like for the Scarlet Doom, I'm still questioning, does it have to be on the war scroll itself, or is it just ability that they have?
I think it has to be an attack or ability. So if it's an ability given to them by their war scroll or an ability given to them by their sub-faction, I think you're good.
Okay. That's that's an FAQ that should be answered.
That's an FAQ. So
we made an FAQ.
Overall, I like it. And the reason I like it is because they are more important, but also I like that your little footmen dude have sort of a role. But the number one thing I like about it is that they can fight in 2 ranks.
Oh, yes.
So even if you have 1-inch reach, which really is
sad,
a bummer for a lot of units.
2-rank units. With the new you have to have them in ranks now.
Yeah, like Blade Geist Veterans are a great example. They're fun, they're good, they have cool abilities, but they only have 1-inch reach, and they come in units of 10, which means you're gonna have to fight them in 2 ranks and that means half of them aren't getting in.
But now they're veterans.
But if they're veterans, because you've made them battle line, then they all can get in, and suddenly, way better.
Especially on the torch.
That helps anything with a large base that only has a 1-inch reach. That's going to help Sequitors on the Stormcast. That's going to help all kinds of battle line units that were a little bit lackluster because of that reach, that now can get in and attack. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So wait, why are what are they called?
Galatian Veterans?
No, the stickmen for Nighthaunt. What are they called?
The stickmen.
The guys with the
Glaveraiths.
Glaveraiths. Why aren't they veterans?
Because they're not battling. There's no way to make them battling.
So they suck. Yeah,
they're terrible. But if they were veterans, they'd be better. I don't know if they'd be good, but they'd be better than they are.
I still remember Carnosaur Killer.
So I think the veterans thing is pretty cool. I think that is a huge upgrade. Lets you fight with more of your models, lets you play with more of your toys, makes piling in less of an issue, which is great because piling in is annoying.
Especially with our magnets.
Yeah.
They all stick together.
Yeah, sometimes the magnets can be a pain too.
I guess magnets are better than shoot boxes.
Yeah, because they'll break in those probably. Or easier to break maybe.
So
I think the veterans are good. Overall, I think, especially from a casual standpoint, it's going to make your game quicker. It's going to make your game more interesting. You get to play with more of your toys.
I also like that it can only be footment, not mounted.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. It gives the game a little bit of a flavor. Yeah. And I do like that.
I wonder if veterans are going to go with... I wonder if veterans are only going to be Gallat.
I'm sure they are because it's part of this battle pack, right? So, and just like the last battle pack focused on monsters, where monsters could get you bonus points and stuff, this one, it's the veterans. Monsters aren't as big a deal anymore.
Monsters were crazy.
They're still good. I mean, they're still good, but now they don't give up bonus points, so that's good. Yeah. But they also can't get you bonus points from the battle tactics.
I still like they have monstrous rampages though.
Yeah. That's core rulebook stuff. They'll always have that.
Yeah.
Until 4th edition. Then who knows? So the last thing, and I think on our table at least, the most controversial aspect, although in general I'm still in favor of it, is the expert conquerors and bounty hunters. What do you think?
I think the one thing I don't like about it...
For anybody who doesn't know, expert conquerors, only veterans can be an expert conquerors, and it says they count for 3 models instead of 1 on an objective. And then bounty hunters can be any troop, so you can't put heroes and monsters and stuff like that, any troop, but they do a bonus damage specifically to veterans. So your veterans can be exploded by bounty hunters. All right.
The one thing I dislike is where you have to pair them up, like 2 and 2, if you have 4 patients.
Yeah, so in some of the Nighthaunt lists we've run, we only have 4 troops. We're a little hero heavy. We're working on that. But with only 4 troops, that means it has to be 2 and 2, right? Yeah. 2 bounty hunters and 2
That's what I don't like. Conquerors. I don't like the pairing ups.
Yeah, you can only have 2 and 3 of each. So you can have 2 or 3 expert conquerors and 2 or 3 bounty hunters, but you can't have 4, you can't have 1.
I feel like you have to have 1 of each. I feel like that should be a rule. Or to put it better, you have to have 2 expert conquerors and 1 bounty hunter at minimum.
You think that would be fun? So that's certainly how we build our list. I think we find that to be probably the funnest way, that to have both out. Yeah. It is pretty fun. I will say that it makes things a little bit interesting because your veterans, a lot of them, you start using them for objective capture. Yeah. Because if they count for 3, even a 10-man unit is suddenly 30 models on an objective. They're fighting with gargants over that objective with your unit, right? And that's awesome. But you also can't really push them out to be fighters as easily, because if they get in against bounty hunters,
which is what happened with your twin souls and my chain rasps.
Yep.
But you came at me.
Yep. And if they get hit by bounty hunters,
they're dead.
A problem.
You did 20 damage with 10 guys.
Yeah, because
you squished them.
Once they're coming at you, those Galatian veterans tend to be 1 wound, maybe 2 wound models. And now I'm doing at least 2 damage per successful attack.
Mm-hmm. So you killed 2.
It can be pretty brutal.
So that means you landed 10 dice.
I think there are some veterans that actually it still works out okay. Like I think the chubby boys, the Blight Kings, they still work out okay because they have enough wounds and they have a 5-up ward. I
Blight
think
Kings are
chain
too
guests turn out okay.
No, they only come in units of 2. They only have 4 health.
What?
Chain guests only come in units of 2.
I'm sorry, chain rasps.
They got squished.
Yeah,
they don't have a 5-up natural save.
They have a 5-up unrendable, a 6-up ward, and it's easy to bring them back.
Not when they're all dead.
That's true. So you have to watch out for that. You can't let the unit die, but if the unit doesn't die, Spirit Torment brings back 3. Beacon of Nagashazar, you bring back D6 or whatever. Olinder maybe brings back D6, and suddenly, and it's like, oh yeah, all my veterans are back, and they all still count for 30.
Olinder's ability to do that is the best.
Yeah.
Have we done a Nighthawk review?
But I think that although there are certain veteran units that end up working out real well, and Blight Kings are great too, because if you have a 10-man unit of Blight Kings, they can fight in the 2 ranks, and then you're just rolling buckets of dice on those guys. But most veterans, like if I'm bringing out my Saurus Warriors, or if I'm bringing out my Snake Ladies.
Or Stinks.
Stinks would be even worse. It's really hard because those guys, they have 1 wound, or for the Snake Ladies, 2 wounds each. They are gonna get annihilated. So you really have to sort of play. We're almost like you're screening your battle lines. Yeah. The things that used to be screens are now getting screened. And some armies, it works out real well. Like Cruel Boys, you can bring in some Hobgrots, who are not veterans, usually. And so they can still be your screens for your veterans. But a lot of armies, those battle line were your screens, and they're just going to explodinate. But
so veterans against bounty hunters have become remember when Olinder tapped the 5 flappy girls with their stick and they imploded?
Yes.
That's what all veterans have become against bounty hunters. For sure,
bounty hunters can explodinate veterans. However, at first I was a little uncertain about it because we just sort of, in our first few games, we just sort of played like how we normally did and watched things explode. But now that we've played several games of it, it's sort of fun. It sort of adds this layer in where, again, your battle line is important. You can't just throw them out to be screens to die. Go forth and die, right?
Go forth and live.
To chump block stuff. That's not what they're for anymore. Now they have a role where they are important. And I think that's sort of cool.
What do you think is going to be the important thing next in Andator? Is my guess where we're going in next.
I don't know. It'd be cool to see if... I would really love to see artillery be cool. The only problem is not every army has it, and most artillery is terrible. I would love to see, we did monsters. Maybe they'll do something with heroes. Oh, you know what would be cool?
Yeah.
If they did heroes that have like 6 wounds or less. So you're bringing in the small heroes, the Loon Shrine guys, or the
Loon Bosses.
Loon Bosses.
Wait, that's
or little foot heroes, or little foot wizards from cities, or the High Gladiatrix, or those kinds of guys that have low wounds, and so they tend to get shot and killed pretty easily.
Yeah.
But the reason you bring them is because they're super good buff pieces. So maybe you bring the next one would have, or maybe not the next one, but some new battle pack would really seek to promote them where they get a little bit more defense or they do something to make it so they can't be shot off the board easily.
Something better than Lookout,
you can really, something better than Lookout, sir. And then you can really buff your armies and go to town. I think that would be pretty cool too. I'd be excited for a battle pack that did that. What do you think?
Yeah, that or what do you think we're going? Where do you think we're going to next? We went from Thunder
could be
to
Andor. Could be. There's an R1. Rondel. Rhodia. Rhodia is a
that's
planet.
A Star Wars.
It's a Star Wars planet.
Star Wars.
This is an R1, but there's lots of cool places, and they could make up whatever. But speaking of mechanics,
I think they're going to get Anator.
That'd be cool.
Because there's actually a place called Thanator's Manse. So I wonder if Thanator came from Anator.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting.
So, I guess in summary, if you're getting a little over the Thondia pack, or if all you have is the core rulebook and the 3 or 4 battle plans it gives you, and you're looking for something else, this has been really fun.
Have you finished all the battle plans?
No, and we will at some point in the future do a battle plan review.
Like we did.
We've played about a little over half of them, so we got some more to do before we review them.
Should we do?
But we're gonna do. I think the bottom line is, casual gamers, if you're looking to bring something new to your game, this works really well. It makes your toys feel important.
Hooray!
And it brings out a lot of fun on the battlefield. So we are, I think, pro
Yes.
General's Handbook 2022 to 2023 Season 1.
I'm just sad for this guy's faction that he belongs
Yeah,
to.
we got a troll on here. We're still waiting on Git stuff.
Please.
Yeah, we still
Please
want the
be
Git
soon.
stuff. I would, ideally, we're hoping that the fact that they got passed over for a battle tome means that maybe there's a wider release coming. Maybe they're going to give us new models.
And
maybe they're going to do.
hopefully that little tiny thing they got in the battle pack is not all they got.
No, yeah, I think that we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see at least one more Troggoth. But really, what I'm hoping for.
I would like the Troggoth Hag to be like a universal model, not just a forgeable model.
But really, what I'm hoping for is better rules,
Yes.
better battle traits, and also you can have low bravery units, but there needs to be something to make up for that, because the Squig Herd, just runs away. It just evaporates on the battlefield.
12 wounds. You kill 2 of them.
Yeah, and then like 6 of them run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
so
they also
silly.
suck at combat.
So
They're supposed to be grenades.
yeah, so
And they're not even
the
grenades.
Squig Hoppers aren't very good. Boingrot Bounders aren't bad. I mean, there are units that aren't bad.
Yeah.
Right? Boingrot Bounders aren't bad. Most of the Troggoths, I think, are pretty fun.
Yeah, they're squishy.
But it's like, some of them just need better rules.
Yeah.
And so the Battle Tome is going to give us that whenever it comes.
If it comes.
It'll come at some point.
But
we're just hoping that we get, if it takes a few extra months to give us a really solid book,
fine.
I'll take it.
Fine.
Right? I would rather have a really solid book a few months down the line than a rushed book now that we'd be stuck with for the next 3 years. Right?
Well, it's almost 2 years now.
Well, until the next book, right? Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for listening. If you have comments or thoughts about the General's Handbook and games that you've played, as particularly from a casual perspective, please put it down in the comments. We'd love to chat about that.
Yeah.
If there's anything that was super cool, we'd love to hear your stories. And this has been another episode of Battle Ready. Thanks so much for watching.
Love that.